So we're going to do a little bit of review with our different two-dimensional shapes that we would have learned in grade 5, 6, and 7. So the first one that we're going to look at is our squares. Now these two squares that I have here, they are the same because I'm going to do one with the area and one with the perimeter. So reminder, the area is the amount of space contained within the shape's outline, whereas perimeter, we're talking about just going around the outside of the shape, and I like to pretend there's a little person going for a walk around the outside. Okay, so when I'm looking at the area of a square, we kind of just did this in our last unit. So as a reminder, it says here that this side length is 10 centimeters, and I've kind of done that because there are 10 little squares going down the side. And if I look at that 10 centimeters, it's like I've got this row of squares here, and then another row here, that's 2, and then 3, and all the way down to 10. So there are 10 rows, and inside each row there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares. So that means my area is 10 rows with 10 squares in each row, and that's like 10 times 10. And when I go 10 times 10, that's 100. And because I'm looking at an area, this gives me 100 centimeters squared. So what that means, centimeters squared, it means that this little square here, it's kind of like a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter little square. And there are 100 of these little squares that take up the entire area on the inside. Now, when I'm looking at area of a square, notice how I went 10 times 10. And what we tend to say with a square is we call the side length S, just to stand for side length. And so the formula we use is the area is equal to side length squared. And we give it that exponent of 2. And like we talked about in our last topic, that really just means side length times side length. Now when we're looking at the perimeter of a square, so if we think about the perimeter, we've got a little stick man here who's going to walk around the outside of the square. We're just going to simply add up all of the lengths on the outside. So if we start in this top right corner, we're going to walk 10 centimeters and then 10 more to give us 20 and 10 more to give us 30 and finally 10 more until we get back to where he started, and that is 40. So the perimeter that we're looking for, the way we would calculate it is we simply just go 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. We add all the outside dimensions together, and in total our little stick person has walked 40 centimeters around. Okay, now notice area, centimeters squared, perimeter, just centimeters all by itself. Okay, so centimeters squared is referring to the little squares that take up the space on the inside of the shape. Just centimeters means we are measuring a length or a distance, and that is the distance going around the outside. Okay. Now, sometimes you might see a simplification or a formula for the outside or perimeter of a square. And if you notice, we added that side length together of 10. We added it together 4 times. So you might see something like 4s, meaning 4 times the side length. Not that we really need to simplify the perimeter because it's pretty simple to do, but you might see that as the formula.